just some real quick reminders as far as how some of this stuff works with linear. Just a couple quick reminders on how we do stuff that's working with linear, whether it be working with slopes, writing equations, graphing stuff, things like that. I'm just going to kind of fly through a couple of things just to kind of remind you, and then I'm just going to let you work. Tonight, I'm hoping that you guys do the day one stuff of section 1.3. I was looking at the problems. I don't think it, in all honesty, should take you more than 15 minutes, really. So if I get this done in 15 minutes, you'll have at least 20 minutes, half an hour to work on it. So you should be able to get this over with tonight before you even get out of here. Otherwise, don't bother doing it till Monday night because I know you won't do it till then anyway.
True.
Slope. Slope. How do you find slope?
Rise over run.
Rise over run, change in y, or the change in x. Okay? Very easy. We knew that. You guys have seen triangle y, triangle x, right? That stands, it's the Greek letter delta. Delta stands for change. Change in y, change in x. How many types of slopes are there? 7 of them. No. What's one type of slope? What is what? Positive. Very good. You have a positive slope.
Negative.
You have a negative slope.
Undefined.
You have a negative, an undefined slope. What kind of a line has an undefined slope?
Up and down.
Up and down. What do we call that? Vertical. Very good. Vertical line. In order for it to be undefined, that means the change in which one of them is equal to 0. Wrong. No. Yes. Remember, can you divide by 0? No. No. That's why we say if 0 is in the denominator, you have an undefined slope. So this is that one. Then the last one is a slope that equals 0. And that is a horizontal line. That is where the y value doesn't change. Okay? So if the change in y is equal to 0, then you have a slope of 0. Okay? Very, very easy. How do you, let me ask this. What is parallel to an undefined slope? Quinn, enough. What's that? Another one. Undefined slopes are parallel to other undefined slopes. In other words, all vertical lines are parallel to one another. Makes sense. What about what's parallel to a horizontal line? All other horizontal lines, because they all have slopes of 0. What's perpendicular to a horizontal line? A vertical line. What's perpendicular to a vertical line? A horizontal line. You have no idea how many times you guys will mess that up. It seems so unbelievably simple, but yet when you see having to write equations of lines, you will forget how parallels and perpendiculars work with undefined and 0 slopes. It happens all the time. So just remember that. Slope-intercept form, what did that look like? I know we all know this. Very good. What does the M stand for? Slope. Why did they use the letter M? Why couldn't they use S?
I don't know.
Take a look. What does that look like?
S.
Kind of looks like a 5, right? Looks like a 0.
What does an N look like?
N?
Stop.
What is an N in
What?
slope?
N is sloping?
Right, but they had to go through all the letters to figure out what letter came that was going to work. A, B's, and C's Pythagorean theorem. D is distance. E is the letter E. Letter E.
What is F?
Function.
G.
Function.
Oh, function. H. Oh,
Function.
H and K. A, B, C, D, H, I, J.
J, they use that for joint probability. Remember that from last year when we talked
What about Q?
Q? Well, that's after the letter M. I don't know if you remember your alphabet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's also.
I didn't know it had to be after that.
I'm BSing you guys.
I was about to say.
That was pretty good though.
I just stopped doing it.
Come on now. half the stuff I say is made up. Come on.
That's the minus.
Is there really a joint function there?
Yeah. Joint variation. Remember the x and y vary jointly with q? It was that compounding multiplier.
Oh, I
Cute.
remember. I kind of remember.
Point slope form.
Unfortunately.
You remember point slope, right? G, it stands for when you have a point and a slope.
Whoa.
Convenient. Y minus y sub 1 is slope x minus x sub 1. Now let me show you something here. This is where it's going to go absolutely crazy. Isn't y values what changes up and down vertically?
Yeah.
Isn't the x values what changes horizontally? Didn't we say m when we had the absolute values kind of like your a value? That's AH and K that you just didn't know you guys were already using AH and K from way back when. We never called it AH and K when we first showed you guys point slope form, but yet it is. Do you have to? No. Will you see it like that? Probably not. I'm just showing you that that's where AH and K is derived from. No. And I'm not making this one up. This is true.
How do we know? You know when like the little boy cried wolf too many times and then nobody believes it?
Parallel and perpendicular lines. I just want to do one example of this because this is something you will have to do.
Is that an I or like a?
No, it was, I tried to get I didn't type it in cleanly. I want to write the equation of a line that is parallel to 2, negative 1. And then I want to write the same equation that's perpendicular to 2, negative 1. If you guys remember, you might not have done this last year. I think this is one of the things that we kind of skipped. Excuse me. Yes, sir. No, what I'm doing is I'm going to write the equation of a line that is parallel to 2x minus 3y equals 5 that goes through the point 2, negative 1.
Oh.
And then I'm going to write the same equation that goes through it that's perpendicular to that one. Now, you probably haven't done this since geometry. And those of us that had geometry, I'm sure we remember it tremendously.
Yeah.
When you do this, I always write this out kind of a little bit longer than it needs to be, just because it forces you to watch what you're doing. First thing you want to do is what is the original slope? Well, if I'm looking at it, and this is written what's called standard form, there's a couple of things that I can do to find the slope. I can solve for y. Yeah, what? Yeah, you can solve for y. So let's see, I get negative 3y is negative 2x plus 5, and divided by negative 3. So my slope is 2/3. Okay? Or there's a shortcut. This is called standard form. ax plus by equals c. Manipulating this equation, you can get y by itself just by moving stuff around. One of the shortcuts that you can do to find slope is take a divided by the opposite of b. A is 2. The opposite of negative 3 is 3. My slope is 2/3. That works every time. It's a shortcut.
What is it? 50.
Y is you're rising, you're going up and down because it goes up and down the y-axis, x is when you're going across. It's a shortcut you probably weren't ever taught.
Wait, can you repeat
That.
See what you did.
When you have standard form of an equation, to identify slope, your slope is a divided by the opposite of b. I'm putting the negative symbol there to show its opposite. So in our example here, we had 2x minus 3y equals 5. A was 2. B is negative 3. So your slope is 2 over the opposite of negative 3 is 3.
So wait, that's 10.
Slope is 2/3, yeah. It's a positive slope. Goes up 2/3, up 2/3. That's all. Do you need to do it that way? No. If you're more comfortable solving for y, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. All I'm showing you guys is that there is sometimes shortcuts. And it's okay to use them. All right, that's all. You can use the shortcut if you like. All right. So back to my first step here. Identify the original slope. The original slope here was, move this out of the way, was 2/3. I'm going to put this into, well, do we need to have a parallel slope or is it a perpendicular slope? First part of the question asks me to write parallel. Parallel slopes, are they the same slopes or are they different slopes? Same. So what is parallel to 2/3? 2/3. Now, use that new slope with the given point with point slope form. And that's it. Y plus 1 is 2/3 times x minus 2. And then just resolve that for y. You're done. And there's the equation that's parallel. What's that? Oh, I'm not worried about graphing. I'm just writing the equation. It's graphing, you don't really need to graph out a point slope form. I mean, you can. I don't think it's as clean. But I like to go to slope intercept because y equals, and I just go to my intercept and run. What's that? Yeah, you can do it on your own. I'm just going to show you that one. And then the only thing that changes when I go to perpendicular, well, how do you find perpendicular slopes? Do you remember that?
No.
Very good. It's the opposite reciprocal. So you flip the fraction, change the sign. Switch it and flip it, I think you guys were saying.
Yeah.
Switch it and flip it. Switch the sign, flip the fraction. So the opposite reciprocal of a positive 2/3 is? Perfect. -3/2. And then I do the exact same thing here. Y plus 1 is -3/2, x minus 2, and just resolve it for y. That's it. When you have fractions in here, do not use mixed numbers. I think last year you probably were told that they no longer exist, I hope.
Use what?
Mixed numbers, 3 1/3. No, 10/3. That's what I mean. Use those top heavy fractions, you know, what is it, that's improper. The improper fractions. I see you guys going like this, Tracy. Sorry, I raised it up there for you. All right? Parallel, perpendicular. I know you've all done it. It's not new. I think that might have been it. No, this is just, in the book, they go through a couple of different things of how, of some of the equations in case you forgot them. This is a weird one, using 2 points. Find the slope, use a point, bless you, and just solve it. I know you can do that. Do your day 1 stuff.
Cool.
Like I said, I just wanted to get a little bit in here. Yes, sir.
When they don't give you y equals, this is some point they just give you an x, but then it's automatically
It's just,
x minus 4 equals 0. That's just undefined, right?
they're asking for the slope? Yeah. Because then you have x equals a number. X equals a number is an undefined. So it always it has an undefined slope. Okay? Go ahead and start working on it. I'll answer questions if you have it. I can't imagine you'll have too many of them.